In this video, we're going to look at how Google Forms can be used for assessment purposes. If you go to your Google Drive and go to New, you'll see down at the bottom More, and Google Forms is there. So click on Google Forms, and what will open up initially is a blank template. And that blank template is not actually a quiz when it first starts. The blank template is actually a survey. So it's initially Google Forms was set up just to draw information in and to analyse people's responses to things, not necessarily for a quiz. On this one, we're going to do a topic of heart disease. So I put the title in there at the top of the form, so students will see that. This is actually the file title, but if I just click on that, it automatically picks up the title from there as well. Now, as I said, this is a form at the minute, this isn't a quiz. So we have to set it up as a quiz. So if you go to the top right-hand side, you'll see a little cog. Click on the cog, and there we are. A little box opens up, and there's the quiz tab. If I click on the quiz tab, it makes it a quiz. Other options down here you can see. At the minute, when the students actually submit, it will send them the results back immediately. You can decide to do it later on. So you might decide you want to see the results first before they see it, or it might be a written one where they actually write answers that you have to mark to send back to them. So you choose whether it's immediate feedback or not. You can also decide whether they see the missed question, correct answers, points, values. And again, you can switch these off if you don't want students doing the quiz, redoing it, knowing the answers and getting a better mark and so on. Presentation wise, if you look, you can see on this one, we have a progress bar we can put on. We can shuffle the questions, so that question number one for one student will be different to question number one for the second student and so on. And also you can have a little link on the feedback box that actually allows them to submit another response and so on. Down at the bottom, little comment you can put on, so when they submit it, it'll come up with a message. Thank you very much for submitting your form. Please wait for teacher feedback, or whatever else you want to put on there as well. So if we save that, we're now ready to actually do a quiz. So at the minute, this quiz will not take in emails from people. And I want it to collect emails because I want it to be able to give feedback to the students later on. So if I save that, you'll see there now, emails set up. I want the student's name, so I'm going to put full name in here. And it's multiple choice. We don't want multiple choice, so I'm going to change that question to a short answer. Here, by the way, you'll see all the different types of questions you can use. Not all of these will give feedback. Some of them are just ones where you can answer a question. You can upload files, by the way, and add other things to it as well, but we'll focus on the basics at the minute. So it's going to be a short answer. Now, what I tend to do is make that compulsory, so the students have to answer that. But I put the questions on the second section. So if you look on this bit here, click on section, and on this one, you may have a title for the section or just questions. So now if I click on add a question again on this little rectangle bit on the side, you'll see we've got question one. So question one might be, how many chambers are found in the heart? So in this one, I'm going to put 4 possible options. Or the AI, by the way, works really well. Sometimes a bit of a delay, but it will actually suggest answers for you. And you see it's actually ticked it for me as well. Sort of jumped ahead a little bit with that, because at this stage, even though it does now know because of that AI, because I've selected that, the form wouldn't normally know at this stage which one was correct and which one wasn't. So what you do to do that is click on the answer key. You would then tick the one that was correct and give it a mark as well. And if you go back to the quiz, that's my first question set up. The form knows that that is the answer. And what I can do as well is I can also, with this little 3-button drop down here, I can also shuffle the options. And what that means is that on one form, for example, this one might be the first answer, another one that one might be the first answer, and so on. So not only the questions being shuffled around, but also the answers are being shuffled around as well. Okay, so that's multiple choice question. If I want to add a next question, we're going to add another one here. And this one is going to be which are the top chambers of the heart? So in this case, there's going to be 2 top chambers. So instead of a tick box one, instead of a multiple choice one, I'm going to have a tick box, a check box. And in this one, I'm going to have right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle. So in this particular case, there's two correct ones. Now then, again, go to the answer key by clicking the bottom. I'm going to give it 1 mark. You're going to get both for the mark. It doesn't, unfortunately, if you tick 1 right and you got 1 wrong, it wouldn't give them 1 mark out of 2. It's either an all or nothing at the minute. But I'm going to tick that one, tick that one. So now, if they tick both of those, they'll get the mark. And just to check, shuffle options again. Just make sure that's on. So we'll keep shuffling around. Okay, so those are those two. Those multiple choice. If we then send that to the students, they could complete that. We get the feedback and so on. We can do written questions as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a question, but this time I'm going to make it a short answer. So in this one, I'm going to make it a short answer. You notice again the AI's come in again as well and put red for me. But what I also have to do, unfortunately, at this stage, is think that some students, especially if you're doing it on a phone, it might be capitals. So I have to put red in as well. Now in this one, if the students put red, then it'll mark it correct. Anything else will be wrong. If they put the blood is red, unfortunately, it will look wrong as well. So you've got to make it so that it's just one word. And again, that is ticked. If that is ticked, it will automatically mark it. If it's not ticked, I will have to mark it. So at the moment, we've got 3 questions. If you want to have a look at how your questions actually appear, click on the slide there for preview. There we are. Put an email address in. And next. And there we are. So in this case, how many chambers? We'll say there's 1 chamber. What colour is the blood? Red. And which are the top chambers? Left atrium, right atrium. If I submit, the form comes back to me. I can click on there and it will show me that, so unfortunately I got that one wrong. I got that one right. I got that one right. And there we are. Namely, I can tell who's done the actual quiz and what marks they've got as well. If I go back to my editing one as well, you'll see I've been given 1 response. So I can look at that response and it starts to give me some analytics. Now obviously there's only me responding to this one, but it's showing me for each question what's right, what's wrong. So that's come straight to there. If I wanted to respond and release a score, maybe I want to put a comment on there, I can actually comment to that person and release the score and put a comment on as well. And I can send an email to them, it'll go to their email address. What's interesting, by the way, is if you have extended questions, you can actually mark them question by question now. So if it's a written one where I'm going to look at an answer that students have put in, instead of marking it individually, so I'm looking at Andrew Hartley's there, everything Andrew Hartley's done in his quiz, I can also look at question by question. So I can look at, for example, question 1, I'd see all the responses on there. Question 2, all the responses and so on. This is particularly useful because if you have one where there's a sentence that they've got to answer, you can look through all the answers very quickly and mark them and then move on to the next question, rather than having to go through all the questions for one student, all the questions for another. Eventually, when you're ready to actually send this out to the students, you can do one or two things. You can either preview it and then copy that address and use that address, or you can send via email or use a link, or you can embed it as well. And you can even embed it into Google Sites as well, and students will get that. Okay, so that's the first part. And next video, we'll look at extended written questions as well.